Update: I keep meeting my birth mom, but she doesn't know it's me. Original post: she had me when she was 14 and I am 24 male, was given up for adoption. My parents told me about her growing up. I still have the letter she wrote me that she asked if they could give it to me if they wanted to. It's crazy reading it sometimes and knowing it was a literal child who wrote it saying she's sorry she couldn't be my mommy, but she hopes I'm happy. She was open to having contact, but we moved for my dad's job when I was 11, and then it seemed impossible to find her. But luckily I did. She's working at this small restaurant and I keep going, but she doesn't know it's me. We talk sometimes, and she seems like a nice lady. Sometimes when she says something like, "Do you want a refill, honey?" or uses another term like that, I want to tell her. I don't know why it makes me nervous. We talk sometimes and she seems really genuine. If it's not super busy, she's more open to talking about random stuff. I literally drive 2 hours to come eat at this place just to see her. And it's like she knows me already because I'm there once or 2 times a week for the past 3 months, so she always says hi with a big smile. But man, if she only knew. Now for the comments before reading the update. I used to long for my daughter that was adopted. I would visit a neighborhood park watching all the children to see if I might recognize something in a child that would tell me that she was mine. Years later, when my daughter was older, I sought her out. We have had a wonderful relationship for the past 15 years. She was at that park. Found out she grew up 5 miles from me. She could be craving reconnection as much as I did. I wish you a fulfilled journey and much love. This person says she didn't give you up out of spite. It's a child who loved you. Please tell her, because I think for her this would be the biggest joy in her life. Giving up a baby while she leaves you a letter to meet. Hun, she loves you. 14 or 80, a mother's love doesn't change. Otherwise, she would have erased any way to contact her. It won't surprise me you're the biggest hole left in her heart. Because a mother is never whole when she lost a child who she loves. If you're too scared, write a letter about yourself with a phone number or a mail, or leave a baby photo she would recognize with your name and phone number in an envelope with her name on it. Then you don't have to say, "I'm your son," but take the step because regret is more painful than the present, and every moment counts. The present is the only thing that you can change. You deserve her and she definitely deserves you. It sounds like you've decided you want to have a relationship with her. Why else would you drive 2 hours multiple times a week for a meal? Time to pull off the band-aid of anonymity. Maybe tell her and suggest going to dinner sometime so that you don't have the whole server-customer environment complicating things. Or wait till it's really slow. In any event, she might freak, might need some time. She also might have been waiting for this for a long time. I'm sure it's always in the back of her mind. You both need the closure. As a birth mom, I'd love nothing more than to have a relationship with my daughter. It's an open adoption and she'll be 2 in the next year. Think about her all the time. I constantly look at pictures of her that her adoptive mom sends me in posts. I love her so much. I cry a lot about what I've been missing out on. I can't wait for her to be older and to possibly have a relationship with her if that's what she wants. OP says, I just want to say thank you. I can't speak for your daughter, but as an adopted kid, I'll always be grateful for my birth mom giving me the opportunity to be raised by my parents. I've had a great life. That's thanks to her sacrifice. It wasn't easy at all, but you still did it anyway because you wanted something better for her. So just thank you. I'm hoping one day she'll be like me and want to know you too. You're amazing. Edit, and also thanks for sharing this. It's really motivated me to want to tell her. I appreciate it very much. My only advice is don't tell her when she's working. It could blindside her and possibly affect her work. You should go when the restaurant is near close and tell her towards the end of her shift if possible. Just a suggestion that I think is carefully thought out to keep her safe. I imagine there will be a lot of crying once you tell her. A part of me wishes you would tell her just because I would love to hear a Cinderella ending. But another part of me is reluctant because I don't want you to get hurt if something bad comes out of it. You can always write a letter and instruct her boss to give it to her at the end of her shift. Include your phone number in case she decides to contact you, and just wait. Chances are she will contact you and you can talk on the phone. That's what I would do. It would be the safest thing for both parties and can help eliminate the tension. Tell her how you feel and how much the letter she wrote means to you. Good luck, OP. Please write an update to your story. I would love to read the outcome. Now for the update. Update. Well, I did it. I told her, and yeah, it was pretty heavy. My heart was even beating fast. I kept trying to think of how to tell her. Many of the comments in my last post were mentioned, writing her a letter just how she wrote a letter to me. Originally, that was the plan, but for me, it felt like I needed to say it. Oh, really quick, I want to say thanks to everyone for their love and support, mostly to all the birth parents out there who shared their stories with me. That's what really helped push me to have the courage to confront her. It meant so much, so thanks. Everything happened before yesterday, by the way. I did wait for her to be done with her shift, and that was when they were closing the restaurant already, and waited in the parking lot. We said hi when she saw me first, but then I told her there was something serious that she needed to know. First told her sorry for keeping it from her for this long. She didn't react until I actually pulled out her letter, and started bawling from there, like screaming and crying at the same time, and didn't even have to finish the whole "I'm your son" speech. She just saw it and knew. It was crazy. Next thing I know, she's hugging me instantly, but then she pulled back and asked if it's okay to hug me. Of course it is, and we're just there hugging and crying in the parking lot. It hit her hard though. Her legs gave out for a second, so I had to actually hold her up while she's still hugging me for a minute. What really got me was her saying to me, "Look how big you got." Also, hear her cry made me cry too. She went back to open the restaurant up. She wouldn't take no for an answer. We had some coffee, ate a slice of their pie inside, and talked. So many stuff that we talked about. She told me the second time I came into the restaurant she got a feeling, but for her, it was hard to believe it was me. So that feeling she had to push away. Because she told me for years after I adopted, she saw kids that would be my age and used to think that they were me. Then she would be crying in public. It effed with her mind a lot and made her depressed, so she didn't want to do the same when she saw me, getting her hopes up like that. She says I look so much like my biological dad when he was younger, though. We talked about him, too. They stayed in contact with each other just in case I never reached out to one of them, so it would be easier to contact the other. I didn't have hope about finding my biological dad since he was never mentioned, so I'm glad they both planned for this future scenario. She told me about how they wanted to keep me, especially my biological dad. He didn't want me to be adopted, but he knew that they had to because they were just kids. It took him a long time to get past it after I was born, she told me. That's why he didn't leave anything, because he didn't want to believe he might not see me ever again. We talked for hours, till almost 2 a.m. They closed at 11. She just wanted to know everything about me, but her main thing was, am I happy? Were my parents good to me? Did I have a happy childhood? And I did. I told her thank you for helping to give me this life. We both cried again. She cried the most. Everything was very emotional for her. Sometimes she would look really happy and then get sad again. After my 18th birthday, she was hoping I would find her. That's why she stayed in the same city. But since she didn't, she always thought that maybe I resented her. Wasn't told I'm adopted, or maybe had decided it was better not to have her around. It made me feel bad for not telling her sooner. She told me it's not my fault and I did right going at my own pace. Honestly, she's so sweet. The way she kept looking at me with the biggest smile, it made me emotional sometimes. Makes you think how someone who's been a total stranger your whole life looks at you with so much love. It's wild. We learned so much about each other. She asked me if we could have dinner soon to keep talking, and if at some point in the future, if I'm interested, come over to her house so I can meet her husband. That all sounded really great. We exchanged numbers. After I left, she sent a text telling me thank you for giving her this gift that she didn't know if it would ever come. My girlfriend came over and she hugged me while I cried. I wasn't sad, by the way. These were happy tears. Everything went better than I expected. There was still emotionally heavy stuff, but I'm still glad that we got to open up to each other. Story 2. Update, I ruined my 29 female daughter's 10 female best friend relationship because I wouldn't let the other 10-year-old leave my house with a guy that I didn't know. Plus update. Original post. When I added the link to an update, it removed both posts, so I'm honestly not sure what is going on. Before I start, I'm going to assign fake names for privacy. Abby is my daughter's best friend and Amy is her mom, not their real names. For background, these two girls have been best friends since kindergarten. They have celebrated birthdays, Christmas, and millions of sleepovers. Abby spends so much time at my home, I even got my daughter a trundle bed for when she spends the night. Now to the story. This started last Monday. Amy works the night shift and sometimes her mom can't watch Abby. Amy asked me to watch Abby Friday night and that she would pick her up Saturday afternoon. I have no problem watching Abby. She is a sweetheart, so I agreed. This is also a regular thing for us. Abby spends at least one Friday of the month at my home. Well, fast forward to Friday, and there haven't been any updates to change the sleepover plans. Friday comes and I pick the girls up. We have a normal sleepover day, watching movies, eating snacks, ordering pizza, etc. Well, the girls are in their room, and I am in my room when the Ring camera gives me a notification that someone is at my door. I look at my camera, and it is a guy that I don't recognize. It is 9:15, so not extremely late, but I still didn't physically answer my door. I responded on my camera asking who he was and what he wanted. The mystery guy told me that he was Amy's boyfriend and he was there to get Abby. These are my issues with that. I don't know this man. I didn't know Amy was even dating a guy, especially not serious enough for him to show up unannounced at my home. And when I showed Abby the guy and asked if she knew him, she just said, "That's my mom's friend that comes over when I'm getting on the bus." I asked her if she knew his name or anything else, and Abby said no. At this point, I have already texted and called Amy several times to try and ask her, but I'm not getting any response. I tell the guy using my camera that Amy isn't responding to me and that I need her permission before I give him her child. The mystery guy tries to convince me, saying that he was supposed to watch Abby at first, but something came up. He ended up free now and wanted to get her. I still expressed that without a text, call, or something from Amy, I wouldn't allow Abby to leave my home. Plus, I was told that Abby was supposed to be with her grandmother before the plans changed to me. The mystery guy got upset and hit my door and then left. I genuinely thought that this was the right thing to do. For me, this was a stranger that Abby didn't know asking to get Abby at 9 p.m. without any proof Amy told him to. Well, that was the wrong thing to do apparently. Saturday morning comes and I'm up making breakfast when someone starts banging on my door. I open the door and Amy comes in cussing and screaming the whole 9 yards. She is accusing me of kidnapping her child, saying she will report me to CPS and a lot of threats. Essential to Amy, I was supposed to send her daughter with a man that Abby, her daughter, and I didn't know. According to her, her boyfriend, whom she has been dating for 4 months, should be allowed to randomly come over and get Abby. I may have reacted poorly because I laughed. By this point, Amy woke up the girls and they were watching her yell while I laughed and got breakfast ready. I questioned her, "Why didn't you text me back anytime last night? You've been off work for a while. How did you not realize that your daughter was still here? Why didn't you text or call me telling me about the change of plans? And how was I supposed to know some guy was coming to get Abby if you told me your mom was supposed to watch her before me?" Amy's responses were basically that she didn't have to report every guy she effed to me, and I agree that she doesn't. But if you have a stranger coming to my home to get your child that is in my care, I deserve to at least know someone is coming. She left after this. Now Abby has told my mom that Amy says they can't be friends until I apologize. I am torn because part of me wants my daughter to have good friendships, but I honestly don't understand how I'm even close to being wrong. I am still trying to decide if I need to apologize. Edit, I decided to message Amy to try and meet and talk. I don't want something to be going on with Abby or even Amy that I'm missing. After our talk, I will update. Thank you all for the advice. Now for the update. So here's an update. I want to start out by saying that none of this will make any sense. I don't know if Amy is blind to lies, hiding something, or what is going on. New person ad, fake name of course, Brian is the mystery guy. So I met up with Amy, and basically this is the nonsense she told me. Amy told me how she met Brian at work, and it started as drinking together, then sleeping together, and now apparently Amy is pregnant. Bombshell to me too. Well, according to her, Brian only showed up at your house to step up as a father. He isn't Abby's dad, so I still don't understand how he went from "I've never been introduced to Abby" to he is spending the night alone with Abby. I immediately brought up the question you guys had. How did he have my address? Amy wanted to introduce him to Abby one morning after a sleepover, and they came to my apartment. Issue: I live in an apartment, so from the street, you can't see my door, so how did he know my actual address? The video I have doesn't show him knocking on any of my neighbors' doors. Why do you trust him alone with your daughter? Amy claims that she talked to him about how she felt like a burden, so as a surprise, when he got off work, he tried to pick Abby up from my house. Issue: it sounds like he still got Abby without her initial permission, and she avoided my question. If you didn't know he was going to get her, why did you come to my home yelling? Amy claimed that Brian called her that morning cussing about how I was rude and made him feel like a creep for just trying to be nice. Brian claims that I cussed him out, threatened to hit him, and got very aggressive. Red flag. I never left my bed except to ask Abby if she knew him, but essentially I never went to my door. I showed Amy the recording from that night that shows me not cussing, threatening, or making any other type of comment towards him, and she told me that my tone was still aggressive. I personally don't think I was. Basically, none of this story makes sense to me. I understand that Amy is pregnant, but I don't understand how this excuses his behavior or makes me the bad guy. I am not allowing my child to go anywhere with Amy. Abby is still allowed in my home. I want her to have a safe place to come to in case something is happening at home. I am unsure on if I have enough evidence for anything CPS related, but I have the videos saved and I will start keeping up with anything weird around Abby. I'm sorry that this doesn't reveal more to the story. I hope that Amy would give some clarity to clear this mess, but I feel like she only avoided my questions. I think she only gave me half-truths. I fear what is going on. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.